Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, that is Nursing Tricks. I hope you all have watched my all previous videos and you are taking advantage out of them, and you have already subscribed my channel. And dear friends, if you have not subscribed my channel, please do subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notification as soon as I am uploading my new lectures. So in this video I will be talking about the one of the step in the research process, that is the writing or formulation of the research problem. This video I will be uploading in English, and after this I will be uploading the same video in Hindi as well. So whichever language you prefers, you can watch that language. So dear friends, it's just because of you only that I am repeating the same video in English and Hindi both. Okay, so I am starting today. So this video is all about the research problem, and I am going to cover in this particular video. The topics are as follows. So today I am just today in this video I will be covering the definition of research problem, that how this research problem is different from the when you are saying the problem statement, and the sources of research problem, and the criteria for selecting a good research problem. So these three topics I will cover in this particular video. Dear friends, please watch this video till end, and if you are finding problem anywhere, if you want me to repeat this video, and if you want me to give you more examples, your comments are always welcome. So moving forward, so first topic that I am going to take is the definition of research problem. So dear friends, you know, a research problem, it is a question. So the first statement what I have said just now, that it is the research problem is a question. So when you are saying it is a question, it means you are talking something about this sentence which is in a interrogative form. Interrogative form means when you are putting a question mark at the end. So this is a question. Okay, so this statement itself is saying that research problem is different from the problem statement, and this is a question that a researcher wants to answer. So that answer, when this question when the researcher is putting, so this type of statement is known as the research problem. So very important step is, before starting off with the any research topic, there should be, the researcher should go for the identification and formulation of a research problem. That is the initial step or the first step of any research process. So but here you can say it is considered as one of the most challenging and difficult phases of any research project. It is the formulation of the research problem only, and it is believed, dear friends, that once you have selected a good research problem, it is a discovery in itself. So you can just imagine, if you have written or if you have formulated your research problem, then you have already done one discovery. I hope this much is clear to you. Now what exactly is the definition of the research problem is? You can get this statement as a stem of your question, and then they can ask you that out of which this particular word defines this particular stem. Okay, so the definition says research problem, or you can say it is a problem. A problem is interrogative sentence. So the first thing that you can see on the screen is, it is an interrogative sentence, means something in which you are putting the question mark at the end. Okay, so it is an interrogative sentence or statement that asks what relation exists between two or more variables. What exactly is the relationship between two or more variable? So this is the, when you are writing this type of statement and you are writing in an interrogative form, then you are calling it as a research problem. So let me give you one example. if you are writing a research problem, so like if you want to see that what is the effect of ginger on morning sickness symptoms on pregnant women in selected urban communities of Haryana. So this is the statement in which you are just asking that whether there is a relationship between the ginger and the morning sickness symptoms in a pregnant lady or not, and I am putting the question mark after that this particular sentence. So it means I am writing a research problem in a interrogative format. Yes, when I will teach you that how you have to formulate it, then you will be then you will come to know that we can also write it in a declarative form. I hope this much is clear to you, and research problem is clear to you, that it is a problem, a statement that you are writing in an interrogative sentence or statement that asks what relation actually exists between the two or more variables. So I hope this much is clear to you, and here only I would like to clarify the doubt that what is the difference between the research problem and the problem statement. So dear friends, many a times these words research problem and this problem statement, they are seen as synonymous terms, but these two aspects are really quite different. So now the problem statement is not merely a research problem or purpose of the study, but it is a well structured formulation of what actually the problem is, what is not well understood, and what is lacking, what is to be discovered to solve the problem. And if you are writing a problem statement, especially if you are talking about the quantitative studies, then it contains the 6 components. You are writing the 6 components, and those 6 components are relevance of the study, what is the relevance of that particular study, what is the title of that study, what all are the variables you are going to choose or you are going to select in your particular study, and you are defining them in your operational definitions, objectives of your study, delimitations of your study, and the scope and limitations of your study. So the problem statement actually articulates the problem to be addressed and indicates the need for a study through the development of various arguments. And in other words, dear friends, you can say the problem statement presents the topic under study, and it provides a rationale for the choice of topic, and it represents a synthesis of fact and theory and directs the selection of a design. So this is the main difference between the research problem and problem statement, that research problem is just a statement in an interrogative form and can be in a declarative form. When you are writing the research problem, it is just defining, or you are just asking that what exactly is the relationship between the variables you have selected to study in that particular research. Okay, so I hope this difference is clear to you. Moving forward, now our next topic is, that is sources of research problem. Very important, from where all areas you can select your research problem. So you know, identification of research problem is the first and most important step. We have already seen this, and generally first we are selecting a broad area, and then broad topic is delimited, or you can say it is narrowed down to a specific one sentence statement of the problem. So now this step of the research process is considered as the most difficult and challenging, and it needs a lots of time, okay, because you have to take into consideration all the things, and I have already told you that once you are done with this step, it's a discovery in itself. Okay, so now let's see that what all are the sources from where you can get your research problems. So I hope that you have already watched my video where I have made the methods of acquiring knowledge in this particular profession. So almost some of the points are same as of that. Okay, so first is the personal experiences. So you know, day to day personal experiences of researcher may serve as a good sources of ideas, yes, to formulate a research problem. Let's take an example. If I want to conduct some study, and I have observed that domestic violence suffered by the wives of alcoholic husbands. So this experience may provide ideas to identify several research problems related to domestic violence against women, and there may be many such life experiences of a research which could be used to develop a research problem. So daily experiences, even if you are walking on a road and if you have experienced something, that can give you an idea that okay, this can be my research problem statement. I hope this much is clear to you. Moving forward, next, also your practical experiences. So like if we all are nursing officers, okay, so we are conducting some or the other procedure every day for our patients, okay, so this will help us in getting the experience every day. Our experience is changing our practices, so nurses get plenty of ideas to formulate research problems from their clinical experiences. I have already said this. And let's take an example. So a nurse finds that unrestricted visiting hours in surgical wards reduce the analgesic demand among the post-operative patients. So in other instance, a nurse observed that application of an ice at the site of heparin injection reduce the chances of ecchymosis. So these type of clinical experiences, like if you're finding that this particular intervention has changed this particular result in a good way, so yes, that gives you a idea to formulate your research problem, that okay, if I will if I will formulate a research problem out of that particular experience, maybe that particular experience will help the other individuals in the other part of the country or other part of the world to change the things the way they want to change it. Okay, so now next is the critical appraisal of the literature. It is very important, and a very important idea. If you are critically appraising any literature, definitely it will give you some of the other ideas to formulate your research problem. So when you critically study the books and the articles relating to the subject of your interest, including research reports, opinion articles, and summaries of the clinical issues or any pertinent questions, okay, so they may arise the questions in your mind. So these may strike the reader's mind indirectly by stimulating the imagination and directly by stating what additional research is needed in this. So it is very important that if you know how to critically appraise the literature, definitely that particular literature will give you an idea to formulate the research problem. So let's take an example. Example is, if a nurse reads an article on the prevalence of pin site infection among the patients with external fixators. So while reading this article, she learns that there is a lack of consensus about pin site care. Okay, so this information may serve as a basis to formulate a research problem. And so the another type of literature that acts as a source of a good research ideas is the requests for the proposals, that is RFPs, that are published by the government agencies and some companies. Okay, so typically this RFPs describe the problems that need addressing, context in which they operate, the approach they would like to take to investigate and to address the problem, and the amount they would be willing to pay for such research. So this is, if you know how to critically appraise the literature, definitely you will get some idea out of there to formulate your research problem. Next is the previous research. Okay, this previous research also gives you an source to formulate your research problem. Now how is it? So a body of knowledge should be developed on a sound foundation of research findings, we know, and usually at the end of research, further research problems are suggested. That yes, you can conduct the, if you are interested in conducting a research, then yes, this is the idea you can take to conduct the research. So based on the shortcoming of that particular previous research, let's take an example. If you have conducted a research and you because of the time constraint you were not able to take the adequate sample size, then definitely in your limitation or in your recommendation you can say that if someone else is interested in conducting the same study, they can take the more sample size. Okay, I hope this much is clear to you. Next is existing theories. Now existing theories, so research is a process of theory development, we all know, and the theory testing. So the nurses use many theories from other disciplines in their practices, and we know if an existing theory is used in developing a researchable problem, a specific statement from the theory must be isolated, and generally a part or parts of the theory are subjected to testing in the clinical situation, and the testing of an existing theory is definitely needed in nursing. Therefore they serve as a good source of the research problem. Next is consumer feedback. Now what happens in this consumer feedback, and how do we can, or how we can formulate a research problem out of this consumer feedback. So the, you know, the research problems may be generated from the result of activities. And for example, let's take an example. At the time of discharge of patient after angiography, a nurse obtained a feedback from the patient, and the patient verbalized that it was a wonderful experience except for the discomfort during removal of pressure dressing at the femoral puncture site. Now what happened here? So this feedback provided a concept for a nurse to research on efficacy of available alternative means of dressing at the puncture site to minimize the discomfort among patients undergoing angiography. Okay, so this way the consumer feedback or the patient feedback also gives you an idea to formulate your research problem. Next is performance improvement activities. So the performance improvement activities, also known as the quality improvement activities, are used to improve, or you are also calling these type of researches as the quality improvement researches, are used to improve the processes and outcomes to meet the regulatory requirement. And this performance improvement activities, they also serve as an important source of the research problem. Okay, next is the social issues. Now what happens in this social issues? Sometimes, you know, the topics are suggested by more global contemporary social or political issues of relevance to the healthcare community. Let's take an example like HIV, AIDS, female feticide, sexual harassment, domestic violence, and gender equality in healthcare and in research are some of the current social and political issues of concern for healthcare professionals. So any idea for a study may stem from a familiarity with social concerns or controversy social concerns. So even social issues can give you an idea to formulate the research problem. Next is the brainstorming. So this brainstorming sessions are good techniques to find new questions, where an intensified discussion among interested people of the profession is conducted to find more ideas to formulate a good research problem. Let's take an example. Example is, ideas for studies may emerge from reviewing research priorities by having brainstorming sessions with other nurses, researchers, or nursing faculty. This is true. Next is intuition. Intuitions we already have seen in the methods of acquiring knowledge, that how we can gain knowledge or we can get an idea to formulate our research problem. So this is, traditionally intuitions are considered good sources of knowledge as well as sources to find new research problems. It is believed that reflective mind is a good source of ideas which may be used to formulate a good research problem. Next is the folkwares. Now common beliefs could be right or wrong. For example, it is generally believed that studying just before a test decreases the score. We believe we should not study just before test to relax our mind. So researchers can conduct a research study on whether one should study before the test or not. So this is the folklores. Now next is the exposure to field situations. Sorry for this, this is not folkwares, it is folklores. Folklares. Folklores. Okay. Next is the exposure to field situation. Now what is this? So you know, during field exposure, when you are going actually in the field, so researchers get variety of experiences every day, and which may provide plenty of ideas. Let's take an example. While working in field, a researcher observed that a specific traditional practice for cure of a disease condition which can be used as a research problem to investigate its efficacy. Next can be consultations with the experts. So yes, experts are believed to have a sound experience in their respective field, and they may suggest a significant problem to be studied. So they can also become a good source of the research problem. So I hope these all sources are clear to you. Moving forward. Next is the criteria for selecting a good research problem. Now we have already seen from where all, or from what all sources we have to get the research problem. Now what all criteria you should have when you are selecting a good research problem, or you can say when you can call it as a good research problem. So it is, first is significance to the nursing profession. So for example, like A problem that a researcher is selecting should have significance to the nursing profession, and or it will not, or if it will not serve any purpose, then it will not be of any use. Okay, and one commonly used acronym that I would like to just add here is, if you are just remembering the criteria for a good research problem or question, is FINER. FINER, FINER. Your research problem should be FINER. F stands for feasible, interesting, novel, ethical, and relevant. I am repeating, FINER. It is feasible, interesting, novel, ethical, and relevant. So it should be FINER. Okay, a research problem, it should be significant to nursing profession when it is directed to develop or refine any professional knowledge. I hope this is clear to you. Next is original. It should be original. So it is fundamentally considered that every research problem should be new and unique in itself. Therefore, it is the key responsibility of the researcher itself that an innovative knowledge is used for selecting a research problem so as to extend the growth of existing body of knowledge in a profession. Okay, it should be original. It should not be duplicate. Next, it should be feasible. Now this is very important. Please, I am marking a star over here. It is very important. Your research problem should be feasible. So feasibility is an essential consideration of any research project, and regardless of how significant or researchable a problem may be, the feasibility of research problem in reference to time, availability of subjects, facilities, equipment, and money, and ethical consideration, it should be checked, and it will help the researcher to decide whether selected problem is appropriate or it is inappropriate and study can be actually carried out or not. Let's take an example. It should be feasible if you are just taking into consideration a time. A nurse might be interested in studying the sibling relationship among quintuplets. So knowledge of the incidence of quintuplet births would certainly discourage anyone considering research on this particular population unless the researcher plans to make this a lifetime project. So it is very important. You should know that in what particular time limit you will be able to finish off your study. Next is cost. So it is very important. It should not be like that your expenditure is in crores and you are not able to get anything out of that particular research. So it is very important. You should be thinking it beforehand only, that it should be feasible if you are taking into consideration the cost. Next is the equipments and supplies. So you should have all the research projects require some type of resources, definitely, and therefore before making the final decision to conduct any study, an accurate determination of the needed equipment and supplies should be ensured. Okay, next is the administrative support. Very important. Many research projects require the administrative support, and we know without this administrative support we will not be able to conduct any study, and the nurse researcher may find it very difficult to conduct the research independently. Financial as well as psychological support from the administration, it is very helpful. And next is the peer support. Administrative support, peer support, very important. Availability of the subjects, very important. Researchers competence. So research problem can only be feasible if it is in accordance with the researcher's competence. Ethical consideration, very important. A very important topic of research cannot be considered feasible unless it is in accordance with the ethical guidelines. Okay, so I hope this feasible is clear to you. Next is solvable. So problem selected is considered good only if it is solvable, so that chances of insolvability of problem should be minimized. Next is, it should be current. A good research problem must be based on our current problems and needs of a professions. So this should be current. Your problem should be current and interesting. A research problem can only be considered good if it is in accordance with the researcher's field of interest. If the researcher is not interested in a particular study, definitely he or she will land up into the fake results, which will not be considered as a good research. So I hope these three things are clear to you, that what all are the criteria for selecting a good research problem and what all are the sources from where you can get the research problem, and what is the definition of research problem, and what is the difference between the research problem and the problem statement. So we have seen in this particular video that what is the research problem, and what all are the sources of your research problem, and what all are the criteria for selecting a good research problem. So dear friends, here I complete this video with the 3 topics, and I have already started off with the chapter 3, that is the research problem. I request you all to be punctual in watching all my videos, and soon I will upload the video of this content which is left in the research problem. And yes, you can find the Hindi version of the same lecture if you are finding any problem in understanding my English. So you now, from now onwards, from this video onwards, you will be getting the Hindi and English version of all my videos. So I hope that if you are finding any problem, you will comment to this particular video, and I will try my level best to solve all your queries on time. So dear friends, be punctual and work hard. Thank you so much.